Hello everyone and welcome to the first video in my new route guide series. In this series, I'll be making tutorial type videos on various routes in TSW. In the creation of this series, I took a lot of inspiration from PTG Rail and what he did with his route learning videos in Train Sim Classic. For the first video, I will be on the Cathcart Circle Line, teaching you all how to operate the Class 314 on the Glasgow Central to Newton service. Hopefully, you find this video helpful, and let's get into it. Okay, we are in the cab of the Class 314 now, and we're going to set it up as usual. So we're going to place the master key in and turn it to the on position. Then we're going to move the reverser down to the forward position, and we're going to open our doors. Now we know our doors are open as the button has lighted up red. We are now going to turn on our headlights. Change it from tail lights to headlamps and markers. Then I'm going to turn on our indicator lights from low to high and our destination board light. Now I like to turn on the fan, just makes the cab a little cooler. And here are your safety systems. We're going to turn on the AWS and acknowledge the AWS self-test sequence. And we're going to turn on the DSD. With all of that done, we have basically set up the whole cab. Now, let's get to driving the train. Departing Glasgow Central, we have a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. However, that will be going up to 20 miles per hour as soon as we pass the signal on the overhead gantry just up here. We're now going to accelerate up to 20 miles per hour. Our next speed increase is coming up here at this gantry as we diverge from the West Coast Main Line. We've now passed the gantry, so we're able to accelerate now to 25 miles per hour. We're coming up to a signal with two aspects here. The aspect on the left, or the yellow one, represents the signal for the line to Pollokshields East, while the one on the right, or the green one, represents the aspect for the line to Pollokshields West, our line. So we're going to read that signal. As we cross this junction here, we're able to accelerate up to 30 miles per hour. As we come through this tunnel here, you are able to see the first station, which is Pollokshields West. I'm going to enter the station at around 30 miles per hour, as you shouldn't really be entering stations at any higher, especially with this train and its relatively weak brakes. We are going to be stopping at the stop marker just after the Choo Choo flower pot here on the platform. Departing out of Pollokshields West, we have a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, although that'll be going down to 35 right before we enter our next station, which is Maxwell Park. We're going to start slowing down here for the speed limit decrease to 35 miles per hour. And as we are now entering our next station, Maxwell Park, we want to stop at the camera displays near the end of the platform. Departing out of Maxwell Park, we have a max speed limit of 35 miles per hour. Here we are passing a speed limit sign for 40 miles per hour, so we are going to start increasing our speed, but we will have to bring it right back down for our next station. Here we are coming into Shawlands. We want to stop right at the end of the platform. You want to make sure that the white sign with the red border is right up against the edges of the window. Our next station is Pollokshaws East, and we are able to accelerate all the way to 40 miles per hour. We are going to now start slowing down for our next station, and we want to stop at the 3-car stop marker, which is right before the last flower pot here on the platform. Departing out of Pollokshaws East, we still have a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. A fun fact about this station is that its west counterpart, Pollokshaws West, isn't actually on the Cathcart Circle Line. It is on another ScotRail line named the Glasgow Southwestern Line. Now we're coming up to a yellow signal, and I'm going to acknowledge the AWS alarm, but continue to accelerate as I know that the next signal is beyond our next station. With that signal being a yellow signal though, we still have to be cautious of the next signal, which will be a signal at danger, or a red signal. Approaching Langside, we want to slow down and stop at the stop marker on the light pole directly behind the stairs on the platform.
Ticket checks are in operation at this station. Please have your tickets available
and here we are. As you can see, when we stopped, the signal changed from a red at danger aspect to a green aspect, clearing us on the line ahead. Coming out of Langside, we can accelerate to about 35 miles per hour, but we are going to have to quickly slow down as we are coming up on a 20 mile an hour speed reduction. I'm going to place the brakes into step 1 and let them do the rest. The 20 mile an hour speed limit has now gone into effect. Now we are crossing the junction connecting the Cathcart Circle Line to the Neilston and Newton branches. The tracks off to the right is from the Neilston branch. The tracks to the left is the eastern part of the Cathcart Circle, with the Cathcart station right there, and the track ahead is to the Newton branch, our line. The Newton branch is actually the only service on the Cathcart Circle Line that doesn't stop at Cathcart. We've just passed a 25 mile an hour speed board, but we are going to have to wait until the back of the train passes it in order to accelerate. It should be right about here at the end of this overpass. And here we are approaching our next station, which is Kings Park. We are going to be stopping at the stop marker behind this blue shelter and before the Choo Choo flower pot. Departing out of Kings Park, we now have a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, which is the fastest on the Newton branch. Right at this overpass here, we're going to start slowing down the train to stop it at the next station, which is Croftfoot. We're going to be stopping at the stop marker on the light pole right next to the steps here. Departing out of Croftfoot, we still have the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, so we're going to accelerate up to that. Coming up here, there is a curve, and on the curve is an overpass. We're going to want to start slowing down for the next station as soon as we get to that overpass. Since we've just hit that overpass, we're going to start braking. Coming into Burnside here, we want to stop at the stop marker on the light pole right after the building with the red canopy. Coming out of Burnside, we're going to accelerate back up to the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. There will be a few overpasses coming up here again, but what I do here is I like to count them to know which one I have to brake on. That's the first one. That is the second one. And here is the third one. We are now going to start applying some brakes here to stop in time at our next station, which is Kirkhill. At this station, we want to stop at the camera displays near the end of the platform. Our next and final station is Newton, and we're going to accelerate to the line speed of 50 miles an hour again. We now have a yellow signal coming up, so we're going to acknowledge the AWS alarm and put the train into step 1 braking, as that signal displayed the white feather icon, which means we will be diverging onto another track. The speed limit for the upcoming junction is 40 miles per hour, so we want to make sure we are at 40 or below it while crossing it. I'm going to keep the brakes on as we are now approaching our terminal station of Newton. Since there is a red signal at the end of the platform, I'm going to make sure my speed is under 20 miles per hour to provide enough time to stop the train before it. We're going to be stopping at the 3-car stop marker, which is attached to this building right here. Now that we've stopped, I'm going to turn my DRA on since the next signal is red and this is our terminating station. And that is the end of our service. I hope all of you enjoyed this route guide video. This is something new I'm trying on the channel and I hope this was a helpful video. I took some inspiration from PTG Rail's route learning videos, which were a big help for me in learning British signaling and how to drive these trains. If you want to see more content like this on the channel, like the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Peace.